Listen, I would love to say that I'm Sean Baligian. I'm not Sean Baligian. I don't live in the Home Alone house. I don't have piles of gold just sitting everywhere. I can say that Sean Baligian and I have one thing in common, though. We do love our barbecue. My name is Art, filling in for Sean as he is floating away somewhere in the Caribbean, or where is he? Key West?
Key West. He's eating some key lime pie, sitting on the beach.
Yeah.
Shrimp,
tacos. Must be nice. I'm joined by Dave the Butcher and also Mike in the building as well. This is The Smoke Show. Thank you so much for following along. Today we're talking about my favorite thing ever. I mean, if someone was to say, hey, Art, you could either eat whatever you want for the rest of your life or chicken wings for the rest of your life, I'm choosing chicken wings. Like, if I could eat chicken wings every single day, I would. It's a no-brainer. So thank you to Dave and Mike for bringing a whole bunch of chicken wings. Let's talk about it, boys.
So we did chicken this week, right? So we did a lot of different things. So we did some things on our Traeger. We did some things on our Masterbuilt smoker. We threw some things on the old school, our charcoal grill.
Okay.
So you'll be able to taste all the profiles, right? The flavor profiles from each one of those mechanisms or pieces of equipment. Also, I did a beer can chicken. I've been waiting to do it. I used that New Holland holiday beer. That thing was really nice, but I put it in a secret ingredient. I put it in a Faygo can because
let's go Detroit, baby.
So the beer can,
I love it.
The beer can is too big to put in this little bird I got over here. So I took the dry rub, put it on there and everything, and I was like, I got to do something else. I had a little bit of peach soda.
So wait, time out, because you're dealing with a complete novice right now. So beer can chicken. What is that? That sounds like.
So here's the concept. You get chicken, you're going to roast a whole chicken on your grill, on your smoker. A lot of times it's going to dry out, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want it to dry out because it's just heat. There's no moisture really adding to the chicken while you're cooking it. So if you add in the cavity, so we take this bad boy, I'm going to grab it.
In the innards.
Yeah. So right in this cavity, you can take a can of beer. Right? You want to, open a can of beer. You want about 3/4 of the can of beer. So you take a good swig of the beer. Yeah. And then you shove it right up that cavity. Yep. Go ahead, Mike.
So it's sitting up on it. So if you can imagine, your little bird is squatting right there on a beer can there. And,
who came up with this? Who decided?
All the moisture from the beer adds not only flavor, but it keeps this chicken nice and juicy.
You're shoving beer into a chicken that has been before or after cooking? Before, right?
Yeah, it cooks the whole time. About an hour and a half, it's going to cook with that beer to add the moisture. As far as who came up with it, this has been the beauty since me and Sean hooked up with Dave. What is happening? Chef brains come up with this, Art. They're thinking, how can I get moisture? How can I add flavor? And one of the things I was telling Dave that I was excited about is everyone will always ask, does it matter what kind of beer? Do you add any flavor to it? What did I say today? As soon as you open that, I'm like, I smell that beer and that chicken.
So it's the spices, the holiday spices in that New Holland beer that we have there. But I think the peach too. So coupled with the peach, and then I used peach wood in the smoker. So I try to carry it through. That was the whole idea. So
wait, this is probably the stupidest question you ever have on the Smoke Show ever.
No questions here.
Can you get a buzz from? I mean, by then the alcohol's already been like, so the chances of getting a buzz are slim. But you could taste the flavor of the beer in the chicken.
You got it. It's almost like reducing a wine or something. You know what I mean? When you cook with it, you flambe or you cook the alcohol out. In the beer can chicken, there's still beer left in the bottom of the can. Okay. It's just creating steam. So that moisture is just creating steam, and the steam tastes like what? Hops.
But you get that flavor profile depending on what beer you use.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Because what I think the key is to what Dave said is that this is a holiday beer, so it's got spices in it. Those spices come out. If you use your Pabst or your Coors Light or something, you're not going to get much out of there. So when I use the Coors Light, what I'll do is I add stuff in there. I'll put garlic in there. I go in, I put some citrus, I put some barbecue seasoning into the beer. So when it's steaming, it's putting that flavor out there.
Man, this is a whole new world. This is how long has the beer can chicken been going on? I mean, how long has this been a thing?
A long time.
A long time.
Yeah, it's as long as I've been grilling. Absolutely.
Is it popular? Is it popular amongst like tailgaters?
Popular. I was going to say tailgaters, home cooks, people that want to do something simple. But see that chicken? That chicken is moist. It's soft, tender. You kind of said the same thing about the chicken wings. We'll get to it a little bit later. But it's almost like doing a brine while you're cooking. Steaming. That steam kind of adds moisture to your meat, and it softens it up all in the process.
And you can taste a little hint.
Just a hint of the beer. Yeah, totally.
A little hint.
Isn't that nice? There should be
This is beautiful.
You're blowing your mind. Look at that. 5 minutes in and we're blowing your mind.
It's just insane. Like I'm going to be honest. When it comes to barbecuing, when it comes to grilling, I am terrible. I mean, even the basics of it. But seeing that you can literally put beer inside of a chicken's cavity and it comes out as delicious as this, I'm hooked.
That's awesome. So I think
absolutely.
Let's move on to another one. So we took the what I did was I took some whole chickens and I cut them in half. Yep, you can show everybody, Mike. And I cut the whole bird in half, so you would have a half bird, kind of like this. And I took them and I did a dry rub, the butchery dry rub. I put on those bad boys, and then I put them in the Traeger. And let me tell you, these turned out, I think, excellent. These are the birds that Sean was talking about in our last show.
Okay.
He's like, I want you to show me how you do those half birds.
God, look at the skin just come right off of it.
Yeah, here.
I mean, I won't complain.
Let's try a little bit. It only take like maybe a bite of each there, Art, because we got to pace ourselves.
Yeah,
I know you fashion yourself as a eating champion.
As a chicken connoisseur, if you will.
Yeah, but you definitely don't want to fill up too early.
The key to all these, which is where everyone goes wrong with chicken,
Just a hint of
it
smoke
is so moist.
Grill is more. That's on the Traeger. The Traeger, like we said,
yes.
The pellet grill or pellet smoker, it's a combination. It's a smoker and a grill. So you have direct heat comes from these wood pellets that are fed into from this hopper, and it creates a little bit of smoke. But your grill is cooking at a real consistent temperature. It's almost like a smoked oven, if you will. So you can get a real nice grill flavor, yet have a touch of smoke, and it's not overly smoky or smoke forward. It'd probably be the better word on some maybe these.
You know what? What I noticed about both the pieces of chicken that you've given me, they're not dry. What is the technique? I mean, you would think with the beer can, it's a little bit easier to make it not dry. But in a situation like this where you're literally cutting the chicken in half, what is that? How do you get it to where it's not dry?
You're good, Art. You're getting all the right questions. I love it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be stupid.
No, you got it.
Chef. It's like you're teaming the chef up, the butcher. I mean, I'm loving it. I'm having fun. So the chicken. So you nailed it. So we get the moisture on this chicken from the beer in the can, creating some steam, if you will. On this one that we did on the Traeger, that half chicken, the moisture stays in there because what we did was we took that chicken and we put it in a brine for about 12 hours before. So the night before, last night, I threw those in with some sugar and some salt, a bay leaf, and some cold water.
Okay.
And I let that sit inside that brine, ice cold, in the cooler for the 24 hours or 13 hours, I should say. And then I just pull it out, pat it dry. And then we've talked about brine and stuff like that in the past. Pat it dry, and then I dry rub, boom, throw it in the smoker or on the Traeger. That was on the Traeger at 275 for about an hour and 3/4 up to maybe just shy of 2 hours.
Okay.
The beer can chicken, I'll come back real quick, was on the Traeger for the same time. 275 for about 2.5 to 3 hours, somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah. Because what happens is I'm doing other things on the Traeger, and I'll show you. So we did some of those wings over there.
Yeah.
Now it's time. So we brine the wings, and then we do the dry rub. I put a little bit of olive oil on my chicken wing, and then so the dry rub kind of sticks to it.
Yeah.
And then I threw those on the Traeger. And the reason why I say there's that variance of time on cooking is because this is my secret. This is not really a secret, but this is my technique. When I'm making wings, I'm working the wings. A lot of people are like, oh, just set it and freak. Nope. I can't. I got to work my wings. I want to get a nice golden or complete smoke all the way around. I want that nice color. I want everybody to be able to, every bite should be the same.
Very chef-like, yeah.
Exactly. So those Traeger wings over there in front of Art are my favorite. I like the idea that Traeger adds just a little bit of smoke, but it doesn't overwhelm the chicken. Those should be not as moist, quite frankly, because I didn't brine them. They should be a touch more chew to it. Yeah. But those are made to dip in, say, a hot sauce, or I brought a gluten-free barbecue sauce for you guys if you want to do something there.
Yeah. Go ahead. And I was going to say, and part of it, Art, is since we've started this, we've gone back and forth on the grill and what grill to have and what grill to take. And there was someone that follows us on Twitter, and he was talking about Traegers, and he was talking about, he took everything back he said about the Traegers except for it just makes it so stupid and so foolproof for you to do it. And that's exactly what I want. I'm not a pit boss. I'm not going to sit here and work over my food. The Traegers, he says it's at 275. You know it's at 275. It's not going to flare up. It's not going to dry your chicken out. You have your time. You hit it at 165 and boom.
This is perfect because to me, it's a great example of doing doing a lot with a little. Like you have a simple chicken wing, and you don't want to overload it with rubs, or you don't want to overload it with a sauce. This to me is perfect because, like you said, it's 100%. Smoked and made. It's not like, certain parts of it are burnt, some parts of it are undercooked, and we've all had those experiences with chicken wings. It sucks. It's the worst ever. But this right here is it's got that perfect taste of this is a good smoked wing.
A little bit of moist,
absolutely,
soft, but got some flavor still to it. You can take that again, like you were saying. Add your barbecue sauce, add your hot sauce, add whatever flavor you want. I know you're a garlic parmesan guy.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah. So you can definitely do that as well.
So that was a Traeger.
That's Traeger.
Right. So now we've got to do the Masterbuilt, and you're going to definitely know
this is. Listen, I'm going to be honest. My day could not get better. I could get hit by a car right now. I could say, well, at least I did this. This is great. This is great.
We don't want that to happen.
No, I don't want it to happen either. But to show the level of excitement, because when it comes to chicken wings, I go to so many places that do it wrong, and I'm super picky when it comes to my wings, and I love this because this is something you can dip in anything. You've got that smoked flavor.
Pull some flavor from something else.
Yeah.
So then we'll talk about the Masterbuilt smoked chicken wing. These are by far, and I'm not exaggerating, we don't do a lot of cooked foods at the store that we sell. We sell some wings. The smoked wing is by far the most popular from the Masterbuilt smoker.
Wow.
I'm not exaggerating.
Okay.
There's a certain level of smoke that adds to the wings that just gives it a different flavor. So I want you guys to tell me what you think.
100%, it's a different flavor.
Thank you,
So it's a totally different meal.
Oh yeah, I enjoy. At first, I didn't know. I really messed up my wings at first. I added too much moisture into the pan when using my Masterbuilt, and then I watched you, Mike, quite frankly, and then you would add just a little bit less than I, and so then I kind of adjusted. Then now I'm down to. I do these wings.
Is it totally different?
It's totally different. And I got to say,
you get the smoke first.
Yeah,
right?
you get the smoke first. But what I like about it, I'm a huge Traeger grill fan. Never owned one, but Joe Rogan talks about it, so it's got to be cool. And you guys talk about it all the time. It's got to be cool.
Sean Baligian.
Sean Baligian. He's got 50 of them in his basement. We're still waiting to get one. But
the walkout kitchen.
Yeah, this has such a melt in your mouth compared to the Traeger. It's a smoother bite. It's you get that flavor right away. As with the Traeger, it kind of settles in.
Yep.
This you get right away.
Absolutely. And the Masterbuilt is more of an art, Dave. So where your Traeger you can do whatever you want. It's going to put as much smoke as it's going to put on there, and the temperature. With the Masterbuilt, you have to gauge how many chips you're putting in there, when you're putting those chips in, what kind of chips you're going to use, and like you said, the moisture of the water.
It's a timing game.
Absolutely.
And back to my original point of the chicken wing and the temperature variance in my grill or my smoker, because I'm constantly in and out of there.
Yeah.
I'm rotating these wings because as a chef, as a culinarian, I'm thinking the cooking process is every one of those wings is, quite frankly, they're not exactly the same size.
Right.
So say, for example, on this drummy that I'm eating, it tastes great.
Yeah.
The rub on this is a tequila lime rub, so it's got a little more kick to it.
Yeah,
but
I love it.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
So this bad boy here, say it's a little bit meatier on one side. So I'm rotating it, making sure we're cooking evenly. So
how do you do that when you have 20 different wings, though? Do you just gauge, okay, this one I got to turn a little bit more, this one a little less?
I'm going to tell you it's real easy. The Traeger, the meat is going to tell you what's going on, right? So you kind of watch it. So it starts to brown on one side, rotate it, and then you're looking for more color than anything else. And then knowing that, okay, this fat wing versus that flat one, is going to cook it a little bit slower. That one's going to take a little less time, right? So take this bad boy, maybe you rotate and you brown the flats, right? And you got those brown maybe on the outside where you're getting a little more char, a little more color, and then move them to the inside or to the warm or the cool side of your grill and let them kind of roast, right? And then bring back the bigger wings and then let those kind of come to the flame or the hotter side and kind of roast up a little bit to get your color and seal in your flavor. And then you can kind of rotate them to the cooler end and kind of rotate around until all of them are golden brown and kind of have all the flavor of everything you need on
You know what? I got to say, just watching this show and helping produce this show, the one thing that I've learned more than anything is that there's not just one way to cook meat. And with chicken wings, I'm going to be honest, before the show, I was like, okay, you set it there, you leave it. You've shown me and told me so many different ways. And just with taste, there's 3 different tastes with the wings that you give. It's crazy.
We could have went even further, right? One of my new favorites is the sous vide. We could sous vide, say, a boneless chicken thigh or even a whole half bird like this or a whole bird. You sous vide that bad boy, cook it to your temp that you're going to need. It's going to be nice and moist. And in that sous vide process, you can have some fresh herbs in there.
Yeah.
And then so you're imparting a lot of flavor in that process. and then pull it out, throw it on your grill, and get that char flavor. You know, that brownish black stuff down there. That's where all the good, you know, flavor comes from.
I think you just set us up for some sous vide jerk chicken. We know 100%. You know, Sean's been talking about it for this whole time. Jerk. We haven't done jerk in so long. Let's sous vide some jerk chicken. We will do that. Stay tuned, everybody. Coming to a smoke show near you soon.
There you go.
Now, but not only is the flavors you can put on there, but back to like how do you do that with the grill? You've got to know your grill. So we talk about Sean's Traeger, and then right after Dave got his Traeger, they've learned something about their grill every time they have grilled. So the first time we did the let me see if I get this right, short ribs.
You got
over at Sean's. Sean noticed where it cooked faster, where it cooked slower, so that when we did it the next time, we knew where to rearrange not only the
trial and error.
Short, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to pay attention. So we can't just sit and forget now.
Right.
We sit and we say, all right, we know this right corner is our hot spot.
But Dave, you seem like the type of person to where you like to be working on the grill. Like setting it and leaving it alone, it seems like that would be a little hard for you to do. I'm the same way. Like I want to touch it. I want to move it. I want to see where it's at.
You're nailing them today, 100%. Like no lie, no joke either. I'm I'm a chef, you know, by heart. Even a butcher, I'm constantly moving, doing something. But the chef in me, that's kind of why I cook at home. That's kind of why I cook with the guys. You know, I do this podcast. Literally, that's the reason why, so I can cook and kind of do those things. But you're 100% right when it comes to I constantly got to be doing something. So it's that grill cooking me where you're like, I got to get out 700 steaks, you know, to these guests in 2.5 hours. I don't have time.
Wait, that's a real thing?
Oh yeah. You kidding me?
Ask him, Dave. How many steaks have you done in your lifetime?
I've done, I would
hundreds
venture to say hundreds of thousands.
Oh my god! See, and if you're not following Dave, make sure that you follow him on Twitter, because when you posted a picture the other day and it was all these different containers, I thought like, oh, you know, he probably made one or two. Like you make all of them. Like it's not just like manufactured somewhere else and brought into you. Like you make them. That's crazy.
No. Local reporter and running for city council, ML Elric, has a hockey charity event for Clark Park downtown every year. And I think the photo you're referring to is I did 60 of these half birds on the Traeger. I put 30 on for 3 hours, pulled them off, and then put 30 more on. And then put them in the oven, let them stay warm, and stuff, and then made potato salad and the brownies. My wife made those, and we, package it all up. You kind of set it up 60 trays,
That's so crazy.
Fill and go, package it, put it in, and then take it over. It's not about how much you can produce, it's about planning, quite frankly. It's no different than we talk about our smoker, right? You want to brine some things you don't. So it's just planning ahead of time, knowing the hot spots on your grill, all those things. It's just experience and time, right?
Yeah.
So
how long did it take you to the points where you were like 70 steaks in it? Like how long does that process take, and how long did it take you to get to that point?
I'd be lying if I said right away, honest to goodness. So I started on a grill at a restaurant called Cafe Bonhomme in downtown Plymouth back in 1995.
Wow.
And so as a 15-year-old kid, I was like, hey, what are you doing over there? So I learned how to cook, just kind of being with the guys and gals in the kitchen over the years. And so I would say it's touch, it's feel, it's sight. Sean always, alludes to or jokes about the fact that I can look at and see it's experience. So you say 25, 28 years of being at different steakhouses, being at different restaurants where the primary focus was putting out some really nice pieces of meat.
I got you.
And so it's just experience.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
When you asked that first question, did you fall in love right from then? Was that when the bug hit?
I think I wanted to be a chef at a really, really young age. And then I went and worked at a meat market when I was 18 years old.
Okay.
And I fell in love with meat.
Yeah.
And was like, oh my gosh, I'd rather be a butcher than a chef. And then I did that for about a year while I was going to university. And it was like, man, to be a butcher, you're up at 4 a.m. And I was like, I can't do this. So at a young age, I stepped out of the meat cutting room and I went to the kitchen where I cooked a lot more. And so it was like, this is kind of where I wanted to be. I at 18 years old, I was at the Ritz-Carlton when it was in town here in Dearborn. And I got to tell you, the experience. I was the youngest guy in the kitchen. So all these guys that had tons of experience, where I'm talking like 10, 12, 15 years of experience, were teaching me all these things.
That's the best.
At such a rapid pace, right?
Yeah.
We're putting out dinner for people like Oprah. I'm not, no exaggeration. So, all those experiences boil down to just time, right?
Yeah.
So if you're hanging out no different than me as a chef or a butcher. You're hanging out at your house and you're making wings all the time. Mike is doing pork butt or something like this, right? Or ribs, right? So, but what I'm saying is, and Sean is doing everything under the sun on his smoker. But it's the time, just doing it over and over, the repetition.
It's just like with anything else. Like, I mean, even with this network that we have here, like I 100%. Knew maybe 25%, and now I'm at 26%. You know, so it's like,
you know, more credit.
Yeah, I think so. But not only that, honestly, going to see your point, you started out just doing one thing.
Right.
Now you're doing a lot of other things. Yeah. Right? You're doing a couple of your own shows. You're filming
I think
other shows.
It all goes back to the importance of asking questions.
Bingo. And being willing to learn. So 2 things. For one, if you ever have the time to sit down and listen to Dave's origin story. I mean, I'm a big superhero guy. I love origin stories. I'm telling you, I've been smiling the whole time he's been talking
awesome.
Because
me too. I love people ask.
It is one of the most unbelievable stories ever. Like he sat down, I think we were doing a brisket or something, and the time flew by. I think he told us for about 3 hours this backstory of who Dave was. It was unbelievable.
Do you have it on a podcast yet?
No, this was back when we weren't videoing.
Oh, yeah, I would listen.
That's what we would show pictures, literally just a picture of the meat, but then we were sitting there talking for 4 to 8 hours.
That's awesome.
And we got all these stories, and then that even gets into the willingness to learn. This is I'm going to say it. This is a world-class chef here. This guy's done some stuff, a lot of stuff.
I've had a lot of opportunities.
You've had a lot of opportunities, but he sat there in Sean's backyard with me and Sean, asking us questions because he wanted to touch and poke and look and what is it?
That's beautiful.
12 hours for this brisket? No, we've got to. But he has learned, and now you've had some of the brisket that he has had. He's mastered it because of what he asked before. It didn't make sense to him. 24 hours on a smoker.
Not at all.
Now it's starting to make sense, and this is some of the magic that he's making from it.
That's beautiful.
But the full circle process is, and you hit on it 100%. I'm learning from those just as well as others are learning from me. I really appreciate you asking the questions. Like listen, I'll talk for hours.
Yeah, no, I think that could be a smoke show episode within itself.
To sit down and ask those kind of things, I love it. But I think what happens is, and I kind of take over the conversation from this standpoint, is I'll end up asking all these questions of you, like what kind of food, and that was going to bring me to like, what are the things? Because I know you have the gluten issue. What are the kind of things? So navigating that's kind of, we wanted to tie that into this week's episode because obviously chicken and it was your favorite. It kind of made natural sense for us to do chicken. We hadn't done chicken yet. I wanted to do the beer can. Long story short, what are some of your, battles or struggles trying to just get food or dealing with it yourself?
I think it's just the honesty from a restaurant standpoint and from a grocery standpoint. Even 100%. Grocery stores, like where you would think like on the package it says, may contain, milk or, and that's it. And then you're like, wait a second, you do some research and it contains gluten. So,
is it soy, is it whey?
I've been at, wing places before and they're like, oh no, there's no gluten in the sauce. And then I can tell I've talked to you about this, Mike, within 5 minutes, it's like,
they're marinating and say a Worcestershire or
absolutely. And that's the thing. I think that, obviously with hipster culture, everything was gluten-free for a while. And it was like, oh, it's cool to be gluten-free. And it's like, no, like with me, like I literally had problems because of it, So I think it's just from a restaurant standpoint, and I know that you guys are good with it, but even a butchery standpoint, if you're putting a certain rub on it, it's amazing what has gluten in it. Things that you would never
100%,
expect.
100%. I think a lot of people, not just gluten, but MSG and things like that can affect your digestive system, quite frankly, your stomach, the lining and whatnot.
Yeah, I think we did, I want to say it was turkeys. We were doing turkeys.
Oh, yeah.
And Dave's throwing spices at us. Boom, boom, boom. And we're catching them. And Sean's taking them and putting them in his pocket. We're taking them to his house. And I'm reading them.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
different rubs.
Guy, no,
and isn't that crazy, though? Because even when I go to the gas station, I know that Jack Link's original beef jerky does not have gluten. It doesn't have wheat, but the teriyaki one does. And it's just from doing stuff like that and looking at it.
And I think, let me see if I can get in your head, Art. I don't want people to take this the wrong way. Me and my daughter, for one, who has a huge problem such as yourself, we're not asking for the world to be gluten-free.
No, but you feel like an asshole, right? I do. I did at first, and then I had one time where I was like, no, I need to be honest with the person that's serving me food.
I'm the last person to order because I have to preface it with, all right, I'm going to be an asshole, but I asked the question. So my point, I don't ask the world to be gluten-free. No way.
Right,
when I
right.
cook, gluten's great. Bread is great.
Yeah.
But what it does to us isn't. All I ask is to have knowledge.
Yeah, transparency.
If the restaurant world could just have the knowledge, if for my daughter's sake, Central Michigan could just have the knowledge.
Isn't it crazy,
it's a
though?
comfort level. If I ask a waitress, Art, do you know if this is gluten-free? Or do you have a gluten-free beer? And she looks at me, no shit, Art, and says, I don't think there's milk in that.
Right. Right.
Then there, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know what?
Then it's a water for dinner.
I don't eat anything.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because she hasn't been educated. But that's all.
Right.
Like my daughter is actually meeting with Central Michigan and bringing the point.
And that's beautiful, man.
Awesome. Yeah, awareness is key.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's just being transparent because, again, like I've spent so many times at a restaurant or, even in the grocery aisle and I ask and you feel like an asshole. You're like,
yes.
Oh, it's the gluten guy. Where's his fedora and his mustache and his plaid shirt? Like, no, I don't want to be sick for 2-3 days. Like, and that's literally what happens.
As a chef, I would say, I would sadly say this. It's knowledge on our end too, right? We might not know, we might not pay attention, we might not to the detail, right?
Yeah.
Like Mike was saying, the very, 15th ingredient on maybe a rub or something that we're pulling together on something, we might not have paid attention.
That's the thing though, is that the chefs and the people in the back and even the waitresses, it's you guys shouldn't take the blame because you're getting products then that say contains no wheat and then it does. Like there's companies that are getting sued over it. So it's a bigger issue in the sense of like you can do what you can do to prevent it. But Central Michigan University, an entire university, you know what I'm saying?
It's unbelievable. And here I am, proud dad Mo. I couldn't be more proud of her in the way she's taken it because you hope when your daughter gets to this age or your son gets to this age, you don't have to walk them through life. Right. Me and my wife have not walked her through this, and she is going to the head of, I think it's the head of food or whatever it is.
That's beautiful.
At Central Michigan. She has a 3-page letter waiting for you, sir. So
that's good.
You're gonna
but you know what? You raised a daughter that I hope my kids turn out to be too. You have to stand up for yourself, and you have to. And it's not so much like gluten lives matter. Like no, nothing like that. Like it's simple. Educating other people.
She asks at the end of her letter, all I want is to feel safe eating. That's it, because she has been told and wronged too many times.
I was going to say, can you imagine how many others, right? Other students are afflicted and have this same kind of issues, right? Eating. And so I think the bigger, broader picture, I love that she's bringing it straight home to where she's at school there. The broader picture is, and I'll say it, an American school lunch program is the worst across the board.
Right.
We don't. I mean, and we could take some I think some tips from some New England or English countries where it's much more organic kind of thing, where it's like this is what we have locally, this is what the kids are eating.
Let's be honest here.
It's processed garbage that we're feeding our kids.
And why? But why is that?
Right.
Because it's cheap and easy.
Well, everything's been politicized, and someone's making money. It's who bids on what contract. And honestly, it's a lack of respect, not only for the kids of that school, but the school itself. More importantly, the kids. But to not be able to say, we're going to fund this organic, healthy program. And we're not asking, you don't have to eat carrots and celery for lunch to have a good, healthy lunch.
But humans aren't naturally supposed to ingest that to begin with. Like, and not to be like, I'm going to tell you what you eat. I want a Jets pizza more than anything on this earth. But for the past 5 years, I haven't eaten it. And they've created an alternative, and it's okay, but it's close. But
cauliflower one?
And the cauliflower ones, it's not bad. But I appreciate you guys for bringing this in today because you guys had to go through the effort of making and double checking. So it's very much appreciated.
And it's one thing to get back to. Again, we always say it's only a few people that watch us, but if there's anyone out there with a restaurant, I am telling you 100%, I will be back to your restaurant every other week, whenever we go out.
There's a clientele.
I feel safe doing that.
Definitely.
There's a place in Grand Rapids, Art, that I ordered something and I said it. I'm going to be an asshole here. She's like, what are you talking about? So I go, gluten-free. So she went back. I shit you not, that once my food came out, I told Dave the story. The manager came out and checked on me to make sure it was right. The waitress came out, made sure it was right. The chef came out and talked to me about.
But see,
how
they've got a
made
customer
that.
for life
and
now.
they didn't even have to do that.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm in Grand Rapids, I'm going there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
100%.
That's even broader too. The same thing where chefs are starting to really tap in and come out
care
and be
about
more,
it.
more
It's,
a part
it's
of what's
this
going on
customer
in the dining
service.
room.
We're really off of a smoke show here, but it's customer service that's
Definitely.
totally left us. I was blown away. The guys I was with were like, wow, that was very cool.
Yeah.
Good food, good service.
But there's
quality
but
people.
on the flip side of that, there is probably places that you'll never visit again because and that's what sucks, because it's like the food was great, but what it did to me after was it hurt. Like it sucked. You know,
the bigger ass part of it is when your buddies or someone else like an establishment. I know I can't eat there.
Right.
I have no problem. I will go. I just can't. Can't try. I know within seconds whether I can trust a place or not.
Yeah.
Some of them just don't have gluten-free options, which is fine. You don't have to. Others, I'm like, I just don't know by the way a question was answered, the way it is. And it is what it is.
So I've got
I'll go.
2 quick questions.
Yeah.
One would be, and I do have one last trick under my sleeve here. We're gonna make a pulled chicken.
By the way, I love chicken thighs. I can't
chicken
wait.
thigh sandwich.
Love
you guys
chicken
can have it
thighs.
on some.
I'm a thigh guy.
I love it. You guys can have it on some nacho, if you will, or tortilla chips, and then I'll make a sandwich if someone else wants that. But first question is this: when you're thinking gluten free, obviously nowadays it's a fast-paced world. So if you got to, well, I'm thinking fast, not necessarily fast food, but fast casual, right? You know, Chipotle could be an option. I'm just saying a fast casual place. What is your go-to option when you guys need a quick lunch, right? You're in your business. Lunch, you got to go to lunch. It's one of those things you do.
I'm also very peculiar, as you've learned getting to know me. I'm very odd at times. Like, I can't eat a sandwich wrapped in lettuce. I can pick at meat, but now I can't. So I'll pick at meat at a sandwich place, but I'm not going to say I ate a sandwich. So I'm not going to go to sandwich. I have really fallen in love with salads.
Okay. So any place that has a good salad, you can go and enjoy.
And it's very safe, and I know exactly what I want. A lot of them have them. I know the flavors from like a blue cheese or a gorgonzola on it. Things that go. That's where I lean towards.
And it's still you're a healthy guy, so it kind of lends itself to that.
But it's just like I can't get out like. Tasty Burger in Dearborn. Love you. You used to kill my stomach. I would might sacrifice a day in the bathroom to have a Tasty Burger.
They're good stuff.
But I can't just get the burger. So when they go there, I opt out of lunch or I have someone, if someone's going somewhere where I get a sandwich. This is where I'm at.
You mentioned the Chipotle bowls. That's definitely it.
That's my wife's go-to.
Detroit Wing Company. They make great wings, and I'll get wings from there. If it's something simple from the gas station, it's usually like beef jerky because I know it's safe.
I was gonna say my wife. Those 2 things: beef jerky and Chipotle.
If I'm at home, and I've got to put something together quick, chicken and rice with all the Parmesan cheese on it, like all of it. So then that way it's not just eating like a typical just chicken and rice. You could add a little
something
else.
else to spice it up and change the flavor profile.
Knorr, Knorr, I believe is the brand, and they have a real nice. It's almost Alfredo-like side dish pasta. They have a 4-cheese risotto.
Oh, okay.
So you do.
Nice.
So I will put that with my chicken or anything or sausage or anything, and I make my own bowls at home. We have. COVID, we couldn't find them for a while.
Oh God,
because everybody's getting those frozen meals. Yeah, 100%.
My Lord, everyone was gluten-free during COVID.
So then the second part of that question is, again, fine dining or I would brewery. We could go fine dining, but it's not really. We're not sitting down to eat right now.
So you heard our conversation.
Brewery. What is? I mean, you guys. I mean, that's kind of the thing right now, right?
I quit drinking because of it, honestly.
So you're stuck with seltzers? Is that
no? Like I'll be honest. I was such a beer guy for so long, and then I was wondering why my hangovers were so terrible. I mean, a pounding headache. Like I could not handle a hangover. I switched to Jack, and I had virtually no issues. But then I was like, I'm not a big whiskey guy, so I just quit drinking altogether.
You should see me chase a hangover in Vegas when I was gluten. I couldn't figure out what it was. I was like hungover 24/7. But there are, so Art probably can't, but I can do gluten friendly. Where they brew it like a regular beer, and then they drop an enzyme in it. The enzyme eats almost all of the gluten out of it, but there are traces of gluten in it. Shorts Brewery is my favorite.
The Space Rock
IPA. Omission. I just can't find it anywhere. There's a couple restaurants that I'll go to because they have their lager and their IPA. That's gluten friendly also. They do the enzyme trick, which blew my mind. This bartender must have thought I was from another world when they were talking. I'm like, wait. You put it why can't you put that enzyme in here and have them eat all the gluten out of it?
They probably put it in a pill. Maybe they create some kind of gel form pill or something.
Glutenberg is a
I've heard of Glutenberg
one.
too.
Now, I like Glutenberg. It does have a little bit of an off taste to it. I can't put my finger on it. But what we were talking about before is Michigan is opening this summer in Grand Rapids their first gluten-free brewery.
That's going to be great.
I can't wait. If you follow me on Twitter, I've been asking all these people that review Michigan restaurants or Bell's I said, someone just come out. We want to drink beer. I do want to drink
Bell's
beer.
has tons of good beer.
A lot of them have gone.
Do you feel as though as the years go on, more people have gluten allergies? Because I've noticed that a lot more.
Same with peanut. I mean, peanut allergies. I don't know if more people have them, but more people are aware of it.
Yeah.
I would have never have known. Art, I'm 50 years old this year. I've only been doing this for a couple of years. Do you know? Because you know at your worst, I thought that was normal.
So did because I. Ever since the age of 4 or 5 all the way up to 25.
About it, to where, I mean, doubled over in pain, can't get out of the bathroom. I tell a very funny story of I know every restroom from my house to
me
work.
Too.
Honestly,
from the Calcasket to Flint.
The joint pain and everything that came along with it to when I just looked at my daughter once she cut it out and I'm like, that could
something
be
triggered
it.
For you.
That could be it. And I slowly but surely, because I love sandwiches.
Yeah.
I tried it,
and
guy, I mean, people ask me, I'm like, you have no idea. How it's changed.
Oh, everything.
My life. Like for the last 2 years, I've had a normal gut.
Yep.
Your
not
mood.
Bloated.
I mean, your mood.
Yeah.
I mean,
it become irritable. I become so tired.
I think people are more aware of it. So, because it's not necessarily like if you gave me a blood test, I bet you I don't have celiac. I know I don't because a good friend of mine's wife, Lisa Hewlett, has celiac, and the struggles that she had were real. And I didn't have it that bad, but I know it's it's not a coincidence once I cut it out. No, absolutely.
No, there's certain people who have intolerances, and then certain people are full blown allergic.
I know I am intolerant.
You want to pass me that gluten-free barbecue sauce? Absolutely. That Kinder's. This stuff is good stuff. Kinder's does all kinds of gluten-free.
I don't think it's a coincidence that Sean's not here and Old Man Kinder showed up. That old man Kinder. Hey,
so I just took some.
Sean.
Yeah, I took some of those boneless, skinless thighs, this Amish raised boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and I tossed them with some dry rub and literally smoked them in the Masterbuilt smoker, so they'll have a good smoke on there. I'm just tossing this with I cut it up. I'm just tossing a little bit of that barbecue sauce, and then we can put it on an onion bun. Some tortilla chips.
We were going to get Joey in here in his chicken and waffle shirt.
Where's Joey at?
Well, I think we went so long with the gluten-free, he kind of left. But I'm going to grab a tortilla chip.
Yeah, grab a tortilla chip, or we can do. So, but I like to add bacon to everything. So we got some chopped up cherry wood, cold smoked bacon, and so that'll go inside there. I've got some of that aged Hoffman's cheddar in my onion roll.
Okay.
Right? So I got an onion roll, and then I just put some on here. And then I just toss that together, and I'm making a sandwich out of it. So I'll.
It's beautiful.
Maybe I'll just put some.
Yeah, just give me a little.
Yeah, here we go.
I'm telling you, I know the seasoning you used on this is really perfect for chicken that's going to go in a taco. The tequila lime, you really do get the lime out of it.
And then, if you like, a little pickle, kind of finish it off.
All right.
Boom.
That was like fireworks at the 4th of July and you get a couple. That's the grand finale.
That is tequila lime.
Oh my goodness.
A little bit of smoke. That is Old Man Kinder. That is salty. That is.
Oh my gosh.
Little heat, little sweet.
Wow.
Got a nice little.
A perfect mixture of the barbecue sauce and the smoky flavor.
Now, Art, you take a little bit of that chili paste and you put it in with Kinders. And you get a nice little spice to it too.
Yeah.
That I love. I put that chili paste. I put that shit on anything.
Not bad.
Not bad. Unbelievable. Once again.
Masterbuilt chicken, making it happen. Appreciate you guys.
Wow, that is awesome. So, to wrap up chicken.
I was gonna say wrap up chicken and preview whatever we're doing next.
Yeah, what are you guys doing next?
I saw some Chef Dave notes. Chef Dave doesn't go anywhere without notes.
Sean will be as red as a lobster.
Red as a lobster. We were thinking maybe seafood or I know Sean said something about prime rib last show.
man.
I would like to do whatever. What? Throw some ideas out there. What about
You know what? Do a Twitter poll.
Twitter poll, that'd be great.
Yeah, a couple different options. Smoke show Twitter poll.
Chef. Maybe someone else can help me on that end because I'm not really.
Yeah, I'll help you with it.
Forward on the whole. Yeah. So, one last thing, and I think we'll shut her down for today. We'll put out a Twitter poll and kind of tease what we're gonna do next, and then when Sean gets back in town, and he can kind of say, "Hey, I'd like to do this," because he is our fearless leader, frankly.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's like, "Hi, Sean."
Uncle Sean. I tease him. It's Bella's birthday today, and she said, "You're going to see Uncle Sean." Yeah, I'm going to see him. He's not going to be there, but it's okay. She'll
Uncle Sean and his degenerate brother Mike.
No, she always asks me if Sean and Mike are gluten free. She always asks me if both.
Right,
I'm like, no, just Mike. Okay, Mike is gluten free. Is Uncle Sean? I don't know what his Uncle Sean caught on. I think that's just because he's loud and exciting when he comes to the store.
He's much more personable, social. He does a lot more of that. Like he's very good with that.
Don't tell anyone. He's my favorite.
Running. He's just like
he's my favorite person in this building. Like he has a personality that just you know.
And it's
infectious too.
It's infectious, but it's honest. It's true.
Yeah. He's not gonna bullshit you.
No.
Yeah. So
absolutely
enough about Sean.
Yeah, seriously. What about me?
Right? No. So baseball is coming soon, and I have a bone to pick with my friend over here. So. We are total opposites when it comes to sports, I think, my friend.
Yes.
I am a baseball lover, an enthusiast, a purist. I'm not, and I'm 42 years old.
Okay.
I think I'm on the young end of the base, but I'm a Tom Mazaway like through and through. Like I know, I love me some baseball. I'm a soft.
Don't go far.
I thought I escaped him.
You are a diehard hockey guy like Sean. I understand. But you were like, I don't care. I don't like baseball. It's boring. I think that's kind of was the gist of it.
Wait.
Let's first,
if we're going to talk about baseball, if we can focus on this awesome shirt that Art is wearing from Woodward Sports.
Look at that.
People, if you want this shirt, if I heard it right, get out to opening day tomorrow. Is it the brass rail? Did I get that right?
This episode's on Friday.
This episode comes out after.
Opening days are
you missed it. If
he got some gluten in him or something.
I know. I'm like, what is he doing? For sure. So, all I'm saying is baseball is coming.
I've got to get to your. No, what I said was my first comment. I love baseball, but the pace has gotten too slow for me. I fall asleep.
Fair enough.
That is it. I had season tickets.
You sure the pace hasn't gone slow, or you just gotten older?
Maybe your patience is dwindling.
I am hitting a nap at 3:30 now, like no 50-year-old can. It is unbelievable.
Straight out of school.
But I will I'll put the Tigers game on my deck outside. It's why I had it, because my neighbors come over. We watch the baseball game.
Got some
sit on
wings
the deck,
and a smoker.
Some wings on the smoker. Some grill back in the day when those guys lived by me. But now still I do. But I find myself walking away from the game more because I know when I come back, if I leave in the second inning, I know I come back an hour later, it's going to be the third inning.
Right.
That's one of the things that I enjoy the best about baseball.
Yeah.
Is the fact that I can be out in the yard and I can start doing one thing and then come back, see what's going on.
And it's so boring that the score hasn't changed.
More
it's
of
not
my
soccer, jeez.
More of my
some action in baseball.
More of my point was to talk about John Kruk, one of my favorite baseball players, who said, "I'm not an athlete. I'm a ball player," as he was pounding beers and eating hot dogs.
That's beautiful.
That's a great man.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. That was more of my point.
Yeah.
That's three of my favorite things.
Well, we got to wrap up around here, guys. Thank you so much. I feel honored. This is like an early birthday present for me. Thank you to Sean for handing me the torch to do my best.
Thank you, Sean, for allowing us.
Thank you, Sean, for letting Art come on here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We love having you.
Yeah. Big shout out to Mike. Big shout out to Dave. Make sure that you follow The Smoke Show on Twitter and Instagram, and we will be back next week right here on Woodward Sports.
Thank you, Woodward.
Thank you.